Hi, this is Stu Johnson with Second Floor Studios, and I wanted to go over some basic terminology on the different parts of a guitar. And some people know the names for these different parts of the guitar, and some people don't. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what they're usually referred to as, and then you can kind of make up your mind what you want to call it after that. You can really call it anything you want. Let's start with the headstock, and that's this part up here at the top. It contains all of the tuning heads, the tuning pegs, tuning heads, tuning pegs. These are the spools that the tuning heads are connected to through the back of the guitar. Sometimes it's a little different. You might have all these on one side, like a Fender Strat has them all on one side. This guitar has them on both sides. This white piece of plastic up here is called the nut, and this holds the strings into place. If you mess with this, it could cause problems, so I suggest you don't really mess around with it too much. The frets on the guitar are really not the spaces, okay, technically. Now you can look at it that way if you want to, if that makes it easy for you. But the frets on the guitar technically are not the spaces. They are the metal bars that you see that are implanted in the wood that's on the neck. And then as you can also see, there's these inlays, and that's what they're called. They're just called inlays. They're made of usually they're made of abalone, which is a type of shell that you can get on the beach, and they're made of all kinds of different stuff. You know, I mean, you can do squares, circles, skull and crossbones. You know, whatever your flavor is. And then we get down here to the rest of the guitar, and as you can see, these two areas here have things called pickups in them, and pickups are really just another word for microphone. They're microphones that pick up vibrations, sonic vibrations, especially. It's a little complicated to explain how they work, but if you turn your amp up really, really loud and you scream into these, it'll come out your amp. Don't recommend doing that, you know, at home. You know, if people are trying to sleep or whatever. But it's just it's kind of interesting how this whole thing works, and I'm sure you can Google. There's a great place online called How Stuff Works, and you can go there and you can kind of ask how that works, and you should get some pretty straight answers. This is called a cutaway. The reason why it's called a cutaway is it allows me to access the higher frets. Usually, you know, with acoustic guitars, it just goes straight across right here into the neck, and I can only go so high. With electric guitars, a lot of them are cut away, so I can get way up here and do the fancy stuff. So if you have a cutaway acoustic, you'll see it sort of cut away over here. It won't be on this side, it'll be more on this side where you come up and around like that. And then of course you have your different knobs. On this guitar, it's just knob central. There's a whole bunch of knobs over here that you can use. Usually there's a volume knob and a tone knob. There's two knobs. I like to keep it simple. This guitar is a little too much for me. And there's also a pickup selector switch, which is this switch over here, and it essentially just selects which part of which pickup I'm using, and you can get different sounds that way. If you're a beginner, you don't really want to mess around with that too much. I mean, it's distracting. You want to concentrate on playing, because that's the name of the game. And then of course this part down here that holds the strings up is called the bridge. And there's little screws in here that deal with something called intonation, which is something that is integral to luthiership and being able to tune guitars or set them up and make them operate correctly. And I don't really suggest you ever mess with this stuff, or else, you know, you could detune your guitar very easily permanently, and then you'll have to definitely take it in at that point. And that's pretty much it. So when you're talking on the phone to somebody and asking them questions about you've got the headstock, which is the top of the guitar, the neck, the body is down here. Of course, this is the body of the guitar, and a few other just odds and ends. And just so people know, this little brass thing back here that you put your strap on, there's one here, and there's also one underneath the guitar as well, right over here, is called a strap button. So some guitars don't come with that, or at least they don't come with the one that's here, and you have to drill a hole and do it yourself, and it's kind of a pain, but you can usually do it yourself. You just have to be really careful, or you can just, best bet's to take it into a guitar shop and let them do it because they know what they're doing. But this video really was just, I just wanted to go over some very common terms with you. So if you did find yourself in a position talking to somebody on the phone about guitar, you could have an intelligent conversation with them about what's going on, and if it was in a situation where you needed your guitar fixed, you could effectively communicate with the person on the other end. So anyway, this is Stu Johnson, Second Floor Studios. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll see you at lessons. Take care.